Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dave, Psychiatry. Thanks for coming to the YouTube channel today. For those of you who've been following the channel for a while, you understand that the core of this channel, the idea behind the channel, is that I really feel it's important for people to understand that if you get help with psychiatric medications, that's a medical solution, not a mental solution, and that seeing somebody like me or taking medicines like I prescribe is a medical operation that you would get in the same way that you get help for blood pressure or diabetes. So I saw a patient this morning that reminded me about how important it is to just understand that basic concept and how being validated in that sense is really powerful, especially within relationships. So this is the story of this gal this morning that I saw, and I hope it's helpful. First of all, she said, Dr. Holmes, I'm feeling great, and I'm so happy that I do feel much better, and these medicines are really great, and your YouTube channel's really helped me. And I said, well, tell me about that. And she said, well, honestly, it's been a bit of a difficult sort of tension between my husband and I. And I finally just said, I just want you to watch these videos with me. And without getting the exact details right, because I might be paraphrasing a little bit wrong, and she'll know who this is, so I hope she understands. But basically, she said, the way you broke it down for me, the way you break it down, the way you did that on paper for me in the office really made me understand that this is about the idea that you just take some medicines and hope you feel better. She said, I've been seeing people for a long time, many, many years, and I've never had somebody really explain what I was getting. It was more just, take this and I hope you feel better. So as I do with all new patients, and I encourage other physicians to do this, to break down exactly what the medicines do, and to talk about them not in terms of diagnoses, but to talk about them in terms of which chemicals they move up or down. And the videos that you have available to you talk about that. She basically said that was just really important to her to have the confidence that this was a medical deal, not a mental deal. But her husband just sort of never really accepted that. And so she finally just got not really fed up, but she just decided, we're going to do this. And she made him sit down and watch the videos with her. And she says that after a couple of videos, he said, you know what, that's sort of me too. And I sort of get that. And I see that. And at the conclusion, he said something akin to, I'm sorry. I sort of didn't get it. I sort of didn't understand, but now I do, and now I'll be supportive, and I understand that. And so she said that was just tremendously validating to know that her husband finally gets it, and that the process of breaking down the sort of the black box aspect of this, the sort of the mystery, the take the medicine from some guy and hope you feel better, that was just sort of washed away. This is a medical doctor with a medical prescription doing a medical treatment for my brain chemistry. And that's really the core of the channel. That's why I'm doing this. She is in fact not the first person that said this. It happened early on when I had started doing the channel about 6 months ago, that a woman walked in and said, I think you've saved my marriage. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, my husband and I were about to get divorced over this. He just thought that I was sort of being a bitch and not treating me, he treated me poorly because I had to come see you. He always questioned it. And I finally just forced him to watch a couple of videos. And at the end, he said, I'm sorry. He got the idea that, if your wife comes and says, I think I have a lump in my breast, he's not going to say, well, deal with it, or rub some dirt on it, or that's not my problem. A husband who loves you will say, hey, what do we need to do to get that fixed? Same with diabetes, same with the broken leg. And this person early on, basically, she said, I was going to divorce him over this issue. And so she credits watching a couple of videos with helping save her marriage. There might have been deeper issues, and I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, and I'm certainly not trying to take credit. I simply feel that the idea is really valid, that once people who love each other understand that coming to see a person like me or taking a medicine that I prescribe is a valid medical thing, not some mental thing that nobody really should understand, I think that increases the likelihood, number one, that people will ask for help, and number two, that the treatment will be successful because they'll persist and they'll get the thing that they need. I know that there are places in America, in fact, I was reminded by another patient this week, that in some parts of the United States, it's a point of pride to have a psychiatrist. It's really not. It's not something that's looked down on, and I don't know how much of that's true in all aspects of New York City. I think, New York City or Boston or big Chicago, LA, they're the big cities, the big urban areas where people might be more progressive in their ideas about as medical treatment for brain chemistry problems, something that you sort of shy away from or something that you embrace quickly. I'm sure there are pockets of people that don't understand. And certainly if you have relatives or relationships with people that don't understand, then you have to become an advocate. You have to become an advocate for yourself. And I've said this before, but you're armed with the videos that I'm helping to provide you with, but also just your own personal experience, that if these medicines have helped you, well, you're living proof. I don't need to be right about my medications. I just need people to walk in and say, yes, that worked. And when it doesn't work, then we try to find the next solution and the next solution with the troubleshooting method. But once we get there, people like today, where they walk in and say, you know what, I'm really happy that my husband gets it. That was really, really validating. And it feels good to be validated, and it feels good that he understands what I'm doing here. And thanks for the videos. So that reinforces the fact that I should be doing this. And I hope that this story is helpful to you at some level. I asked her, I said, do you want to hear stories about personal experiences like this? Or would you like to see a video that says, do you know why you're taking X medicine? Not for her, but for example, I would say, do you even know why you're taking Zoloft, or do you know why you're taking Prozac? She says, I want both. I want the technical side, but I also like the validation side, because really feeling good about what we're doing is part of the movement. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. So I said, I'll probably do that today. And I did. So I don't know when this will come out. I've scheduled these and put them out at a certain time, but not too long from now, she'll see this, she'll recognize it. And even though we're not identifying her, she'll know. And I appreciate that I have patients that I can just run real-time things by. I appreciate that I have the opportunity to sit here in this little office studio and talk about this stuff. And I just certainly hope that it's helpful to you. So anyhow, I'm Dr. Dave Psychiatry. Thanks for coming to see me today.